this evening. How's everybody doing? I sent out a video. Where's everybody from? Put the number 1 button real quick. Let me see if I can see the messages on this phone. If I can't, I'll grab my other phone and I'll take a look at it. So how's everybody doing? Everybody hit the number 1 button, please. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Where is everybody at? No matter where you're watching. You know, I was going to do a video earlier and just kind of reiterate some things about goals, but I watched this video the other day, and this is the goal. The things that have to change. There's a lawyer right now. I'm gonna have you guys speak. His name's Richard Fine, I believe his name is, and this man gives an interview with a guy named Wegner, Wegner, and what he says is that the court system itself, that the judges themselves are corrupt, that the judges themselves are corrupt to levels that we don't even understand. And so just so you guys know, a lot of times when you watch a video, you don't get anything back from it. You just watch a video and you're like, okay, cool. This video, you're gonna get a lot of takeaways. What's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing? P-Rex, Chevy, how you doing? Good to see everybody. I think I saw Greg earlier too. How is everybody doing today? Good to see everybody. The Tribe, good to see you, Tribe. How you doing, buddy? Live action, what's going on? So listen, this video is cerebral. This is a thinker's video, but he answers so many questions that a lot of people may not have the answers to. So I want you guys to really listen to what this guy says about judges inside of the judicial system and how bad it really is. So hold on 1 second, let me. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, so let me make sure this thing is turned up. Let me turn this up all the way so that the brightness is all the way up so you guys can see this. And okay, there that is. And here's the video. And now I'm going to start this at the very beginning, and you guys are going to get to watch the whole thing. I'm going to jump in a few times and talk, but this video is so good, you have no idea.
Years ago, Americans fought a revolution.
Stop.
International attorneys, very many.
Stop.
Richard, what can you tell us about getting justice in an unjust court? How do we get there?
Well, I think, William, getting there requires, first of all, the understanding of what is the judicial system. Most people think there's a court, and they think of that court as an institution, as they've been thought to think of it. They think of that as the third independent part of government.
Well, I think most of us do.
Yeah. But underneath, that's not really true.
Really?
Really. Because you have to look as to how does that institution come into being. In the Constitution, it's set up as the judiciary, the third independent part of government. But who's in it?
Now, listen to this.
An institution
Listen to
doesn't
this.
exist by itself.
Listen to what he says here.
An institution exists by people. It's populated by people. Now, how do those people get there? Because those people are the people that are making the decisions. So we have to look back to see how did they get there.
Okay, now this is where the video actually begins. This is where he starts to break down judges and how you can take the judges down. Listen to what this guy says about judges. He's going to give you a bunch of information right now that you've never heard before.
And what are the influences upon them? So the first thing that we look at, whether it be the federal system or the state system, is how does someone become a judge?
Listen to this.
Let's take the federal system. Federal judges are appointed for life.
Yeah, we know that.
Okay, they're appointed by the president with the advice and the consent of the Senate. But how do they get to be appointed? They get to be appointed because their senator recommends them to the president.
Did you hear that?
So now, how do they get to know the senator?
Right.
Usually, that's going to be the senator knows them through either political contributions.
Listen to this.
Or some types of things that they've done for the senator, being a member of the party, being something to the senator favors, or something else on this order. So immediately, the person that is going to be selected by the senator has a political viewpoint that is the same as the senator's, may have given the senator contributions. So they're locked in politically with the senator. Then the process goes that the president looks into them, they get vetted, and all of a sudden they get appointed. So now you have a federal judge who's going to have the same political philosophy as the senator, as the president.
Okay, if you guys didn't catch this, I want you guys to catch this. This is so important. He just laid out that the way a senator knows who a federal judge is the federal judge gives the senator money. You have to remember that if you want to get the judge recused from your case. Now pay attention, because everything he's saying is going to tie together. Every single word he's saying is going to tie together. Listen carefully to what he says. The federal judge donates money to the senator. The senator then starts to voir dire him to see if he has the same political persuasion as the senator. And then he appoints him as a judge. That's what we're dealing with. A bunch of super old people seeing if the other super old people align with them. And then you wonder why our country is not changing. Because we appoint federal judges instead of electing them, just like the Supreme Court.
Is now going to interpret what is known as the, quote, rule of law.
The rule of law.
The rule of law is nothing more than judges who've been appointed by presidents with political viewpoints interpreting cases that other judges who have been appointed by presidents with their political viewpoints have decided. That becomes the rule of law. So when you're looking at someone saying we're adhering to the rule of law, what they're actually adhering to are decisions by political appointees advocating their political philosophies on decisions that other political appointees have made. Now, I'm not discounting the fact that
listen
many
to that again.
Are decisions.
Listen.
That becomes the rule of law. So when you're looking at someone saying we're adhering to the rule of law, what they're actually adhering to are decisions by political appointees advocating their political philosophies on decisions that other political appointees have made. Now, I'm not discounting the fact that many of these people have integrity and will have made decisions based upon what they consider to have been, quote, the pure rule of law, but you have to look at what that rule of law was when it existed. You have a second part of this known as equity. And in the old English court days, equity was the king's foot. They used to say equity is measured by the length of the king's foot, which basically means irrespective of the rule of law, if the king thought something was wrong, he would right it by the feelings of his heart. So you put these things together and you have a political appointee making decisions either through his heart or through his interpretation of the rule of law, at all times functioning consciously or subconsciously with his political viewpoints. Now let's move to the state. Let's take California for an example. In California, if there's a vacancy in the judiciary, the governor makes the appointment.
Listen to this.
Now the governor can make the appointment with what is known as the Judicial Appointments Commission, which is a constitutional body in California, appointed by the governor or the legislature. So the people who are backing up this appointment or vetting this individual are also political appointees. Once again, you end up with a political appointee coming into an office, but in California, that person has to run for office when the term runs out. If nobody opposes that person under the California Constitution, if the county laws allow it, that person's name does not even appear on the ballot.
Yeah, there's no opposition.
No opposition,
They're automatically elected.
automatically
Did you hear
elected
that?
at the next general
Oh my
election.
God.
If there's an opposition, then they run and you have an election.
Which we rarely see in California anymore.
That's very correct. At the Supreme Court level and the appellate court levels, once the governor has appointed the individual, they have what is known as a retention election. And in a retention election, it takes 50.1% to retain the person. If the person gets that, they're automatically retained for another 12 years. If they don't get it, the governor appoints another person. So that gives you your judiciary in California.
So in other words, the judiciary will always have the political leanings and persuasions as the person who is elected governor or senator. It's incredible.
This is what we are looking at when we think of this institution that is called the third, quote, independent arm of government.
Doesn't sound so independent.
Not so independent anymore. Now, how do we get rid of these people? You don't. At the federal level, they are appointed as long as they have good conduct. If they don't have good conduct, the only way you're going to get rid of them at the federal level is impeachment. I think there were basically 17 people that were impeached in the history of the United States. Now, impeachment only means that the House of Representatives has brought impeachment charges against the individual. They then have a trial in the Senate to finally convict the person of the impeachment. I believe, and I could be wrong on this, that there may only have been 3 people that have ever been convicted. Others have resigned. So consequently, impeachment is not necessarily going to be happening.
It's not a very effective way to remove people.
That's right. At the state level, you have impeachment, and I don't believe anyone's ever been impeached at the state level.
No one's ever been
You
impeached.
have
Oh
other
my
ways
God.
of removing them, but in California, we have the Commission on Judicial Performance, which in the last 10 years, I believe, has only removed one person.
One judge in 10
One.
years.
And I could be wrong on that. They get an average of 1,000 complaints a year. They might have given a couple of letters of reprimand, but that's about it. And there was an audit that has been voted upon, and the commission is fighting that audit in court to try and stop it with our taxpayer money. So
Let me understand. You're saying the commission objects to being audited?
the commission objects to being
It
audited.
doesn't want the public to know where the money's coming and going to?
That's correct. And
You
the
hear
audit
that?
is really looking at what the commission has done with all these letters that have come in, and they're only coming out with one person being removed and very few investigations actually taking place, or if they did take place, why they were closed down.
No judges are ever impeached.
So-
Ever.
Well, I think we know most of those audits went in the shredder. I mean, those complaints went in the shredder.
Well, that's what we want to find out.
No judge ever has been
We don't know
impeached.
because-
What the hell are we talking about
Which is
here?
biased by the appointments to not let
That's right.
anybody see
That's
what
right.
happened to the
That even if it goes forward, the judge that is going to decide is a political appointee who, if there were charges against him, would go to the Commission on Judicial Performance, who would 86 the complaint. So this gives you the situation as to what we're looking at. So you as an individual going into this system, this is what you're really looking at. Now let me throw another figure at
Get
you.
this. Watch this.
In the Central District of California, that's the
Listen.
district taking into account Los Angeles and Ventura County, San Bernardino, and maybe Riverside County, Orange County.
Does it take in Santa Barbara County?
I believe it does, yes. 99% of the cases that are filed are resolved by settlement.
95%
So-
of the cases.
What that means that if you're going to file a case in the Central District, California, you have a 99% chance of settling that case. The first question you have to ask yourself is, how much is it really worth going through that case versus settling it right off the bat? In the Superior Court of Los Angeles, which is the largest superior court in the United States, 95% of the cases are being settled. So once again, you're going to be asking yourself the
Look,
question.
I don't know why they keep showing a cat.
95%
I don't know why.
of the cases are being settled. So
I don't know
once
why.
again, you're going to be asking yourself a question as to what is it worth spending all that money on the litigation? Taking all these things into account.
Listen.
And now I'm going to throw something else
Listen.
at you. And that is, if you have a judge that you feel is corrupt because his decisions are going wrong, the only thing that you can do against that judge is appeal the decision. You can't do anything else because the judge has what is known as absolute immunity for any decision he makes, irrespective of how horrible it is.
Absolute.
But that's only true if they're acting within the jurisdiction, isn't it?
Well, but if the court has jurisdiction, see, if the court has jurisdiction and the judge is properly there, he'll have that absolute immunity.
But if they didn't file their oath of office?
Oath of offices aren't going to make any difference at this point. Yeah. The absolute jurisdiction really says if the court has jurisdiction, so in other words, if you're within the jurisdiction of the court when you get served, the court's going to have jurisdiction. So the next thing is going to take place is the judge properly there. If the judge is properly there, absolute immunity is going to take place. There are ways to get around this. If the judge isn't properly there, then anything he does was void, but we'll speak about that a little bit later. So this is the overlay of what you as a litigant is going to be facing when you walk into that court.
It gets better,
That's
David.
The first thing
it gets even better,
to
David.
Understand.
He goes in more detail in a second.
So everyone who sits there and thinks about different things, about the judge being biased and all the rest of these things, has to look at what is really happening. Now that we understand this part of it, let's deal with what has happened next. Next thing that took place, and let's take the California courts, for instance, starting out in LA about the year 1985. You had LA County deciding that it wanted to give extra money to the judges.
Listen to this.
And the reason that it decided it wanted to do this was to attract more qualified people to sit as judges in LA County. Now, mind you, judges in California are state employees. And under Article 6, Section 19 of the California Constitution, only the legislature can prescribe the compensation of the judges. Counties can't do that.
Only the
So
state
those
legislature.
payments were illegal. But even assuming that the payments were legal, who were they attracting? Initially, most of the people that become Superior Court judges are either former public defenders, former district attorneys, former county councils, or former deputy attorney generals. You also have political appointees who gave to the political parties and were appointed by the governor.
He's going to show you right here, though. Hold on. Let me pause it for a second so I can tell you guys something. He's going to explain to you right now how you can get rid of a judge on your case. It's not that hard to do if you want to do a little bit of research.
And paying more money, who did they really attract? If you go back from 1985 onwards and you look to see who became the judges. Chances are you are not going to find any more people that were, quote, more qualified than the people in this group. But the amount of money being paid ended up being another, at this point in time, $60,000 more in LA County. Well, as it turned out, these payments turned out to be declared unlawful.
Right, because the
And
county
that took place in 2008.
the county gave them the money, not the legislature.
And immediately, the judges went to the legislature and they got a bill passed called SBX 211. And SBX 211 ended up saying two things. One, that those payments should be made legal as of 2009. And second of all, and this becomes the kicker, they gave retroactive immunity from criminal prosecution, civil liability, and disciplinary action to the judges that received those payments and to the counties and the county employees who gave the payments.
Isn't that legalizing bribery?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
basically to take extending that payments to judges by a party, and counties were parties to these cases, was bribery. And there's cases that upheld that. If you were a person and you paid a judge, that's a bribe. And people went to jail for that. And that's even a federal crime under 18 U.S.C. section 1346, which was the payment for doing your job. Basically, it's the right to collect when somebody is getting paid for doing their job. And under 1341, it's also mail fraud. So basically, those cases were in place, but the retroactive immunity that was given under state law and not under federal law.
Retroactive immunity.
So these judges, the county supervisors, county employees were all liable under federal law and were not prosecuted and were given retroactive immunity under state law.
That's crazy.
As the cases came down the line from 2009 onwards, the payments were still illegal, and neither the California Attorney General nor the district attorneys prosecuted any of the judges or any of the county supervisors for the illegal payments that continued. Further cases then held that new judges who came in were allowed to collect this money, but the money had to be on the same terms and conditions as existed on July 1st, 2008. Well, the counties and the courts are still paying more money than those exact terms. So basically, they're still getting illegal payments. So we now have a quandary in California. We have judges who are sitting, who received retroactive immunity from criminal prosecution for monies they received before before May 2009, when that SBX 211 became effective, and newer judges that are coming in that are receiving illegal payments after May 1st or May 20th, 2009. And the older judges who got the retroactive immunity who are still receiving the illegal payments. Unfortunately, we have a government that is doing nothing about that. What is the effect?
Okay,
the effect in every county.
Okay, so listen. Here's what he said here. Now, you guys, this is the most important part of the entire video. He says, okay, so they overpaid the judges, they gave all the judges immunities, and now what's the effect of having judges being paid, private lawyers being paid through the county, public defenders being paid? He says, what is the effect of corrupt judges in a county system? That's what he's asking here. I've watched this video twice. This whole video is gold. but I want you to listen to here's what he says the effects are of a corrupt court system. Listen.
Unfortunately, we have a government that is doing nothing about that. What is the effect?
What is the effect of that?
The effect in every county where this is happening goes as follows. Criminal cases, you have a judge getting paid by the county. You have the district attorney, who is a county employee, prosecuting them. You have public defenders who are being paid by the county defending them. That whole system is corrupt.
Did you just hear what he said?
Let's take public defenders who are being
He says you have
criminal cases.
Criminal cases?
You have a judge getting paid by the county.
Judge is being paid by the county.
You have the district attorney, who is a county employee,
DA's county employee.
them. You have
The public
defenders who are
county
being paid by
employee.
the county defending them.
That's a corrupt system.
That whole system is corrupt.
Yes. Yes.
Let's take family law cases.
Oh, this is bad.
In family law cases,
probate especially.
you have the county getting involved in collecting past due child support. And there you get federal payments coming in. You have the county paying the judge. So the judge is now deciding on all of these types of things. You have the corruption taking place there. You also have the county paying for various advisors and so forth in this. It's another level. You have juvenile cases, same things happening. Jump to probate. In probate cases, you have the county having an interest in the sale of the properties that are involved. They get more taxes out of that. You got the corruption in the probate cases. You have any type of a case where the county wants property. County's involved in that.
The Lawrence County
Almost
Land
any
Bank.
case
Lawrence County
where
Land
the county is going to be involved, you have a judge that can't sit on the case. And then you have the problem that the judges have to disclose anything which may be of relevance, whether they think it's relevant or not, to the parties.
This is how you get rid of a judge right here. And listen to this carefully, because this isn't very complicated. If you say you got a bad judge, listen to what this guy says here about how to get rid of the judge.
That's Code of Judicial Conduct, Canon 3E2. The judges are mandated to disclose this. The judges aren't disclosing it. The other thing is that if the judges have broken the law, they are mandated to recuse themselves. That's Canon of Judicial Ethics, Code of Judicial Ethics, Canon 3E1, and CCP Section 170.1A1. The judges aren't recusing themselves.
I'm going to read those.
And this brings up another problem.
Listen to this.
And this is the problem
Probate.
of the so-called catch me if you can. In other words, you have the judge who has the duty to get off the case, not doing it, and going out and saying basically to the litigant, meaning you, hey, I'm going to break the law and not recuse myself, and it's up to you to catch me. Now, this brings into play the basic thing that takes place with the integrity of the judicial system. Everything in the judicial system says that we have integrity and we do everything to uphold that integrity. I'm going to jump you now to what is known as the absolute judicial immunity. That was a judge-created concept that the judges said, we are going to give ourselves absolute judicial immunity, not to protect the judge who did wrong, but to protect the integrity of the system. But look what's happened. That system, which is not a system, but just a collection of individuals, does not have integrity, because the individuals who are in it do not have integrity, because they are now saying, we're going to break the law and it's up to you to catch us. You see the circle? The circle broke. Now, not every judge lacks integrity. There are very, very many judges out there who have the integrity to do the right thing. And it's for these judges that integrity exists. In fact, most recently, one of the top judges of the Seventh Circuit in taking over Illinois, and one of the best judges in the United States, recently resigned because of the fact that the Seventh Circuit, in his opinion, was not affording basic rights to people who are improper or pro se, and he said, I cannot live with this anymore, and I'm resigning. And he was one of the top judges in the United States. That gives you an idea of how bad this split is occurring. This is exactly what is happening. This is what we are facing. What this comes down to is responsibility upon us as litigants and participants within the system, that we can no longer trust to the integrity of the individuals in the judiciary to uphold their responsibilities. It is now up to us to be able to take the extra step. We have one other thing we're now looking at. For those of us that have lawyers representing us, are those lawyers going to be doing their job in ferreting these things out? Some lawyers may.
Richard,
but then
fine.
it becomes dangerous for the lawyers that do, because you're now taking on the judges that you are appearing in front of every day. So it's going to be easier for the lawyer to, shall we say, overlook this problem and not be faithful to their duty to the client, than to take on the problem and go forward and expose the judge, even though it is their duty to do so.
So now listen to what he said here. I'm just going to go back.
That you are appearing in front of every day.
So
for
now,
the lawyers that do.
So he says for the lawyers that do go in front of these judges, that they know they're making other money, that they know that they're taking kickbacks and all this stuff. The lawyers know which judges are on the take. And so this guy says, for the lawyers that are on the take, listen to what he says. It's only 30 seconds. Richard Fine is his name.
In ferreting these things out.
Ferreting.
Some lawyers may.
Some lawyers will find out judges are corrupt.
But then it becomes dangerous for the lawyers that do. Because you're now taking on the judges that you are appearing in front of every day.
So when the lawyers find out that the judge has other financials that he's not reporting, and I think he said it was his 720, listen to this.
So it's going to be easier for the lawyer to, shall we say, overlook this problem and not be faithful to their duty to the client.
Right, and tell the client that the judge is corrupt.
Take on the problem and go forward and expose the judge, even though it is their duty to do so. Once again, when that happens, it now falls upon the individual client to either push the lawyer, get a new lawyer who will, or go in there and do something about this, which means going in and disqualifying the judge.
So how do you disqualify the judge?
So now we're at the bottom line.
How do you disqualify the judge?
What
Listen.
do we do?
How do we do it?
As individuals,
how?
Within this system where we now are aware of the breaks in the system.
How do you get rid of a bad judge?
There's a very famous saying is that you never attack power where the powerful have the power, because you're going to lose.
Yep.
But within this judicial construct, there are places where there is an ability to attack and win.
The judge.
What are those places?
Okay, listen to this. He lays it out. He's going
First of all, when faced with a judge, the very first thing you can do is you can automatically recuse the judge. No questions asked. CCP section 170.6 in California. That section doesn't exist in the federal system, however. In California, you have a one shot.
One shot in
You
California.
can knock off one judge, no questions asked.
Nice.
So if you got a bad feeling
Did you?
about this judge,
He listed the
and
statute
you want
as
to
well.
blow that one shot, use the CCP section 170.6, and that judge is gone.
CCP
You have
170
to
point.
file that before you go to court?
You file that the first day. You have a certain, I think you have about 5 days or so, or 10 days. I'm not sure the exact number right off the top of my head. But immediately upon when the judge is appointed, you can file that. And that's it. It's a one-shot deal. Once you blow it, it's over. The next thing that you have is the CCP section 170.3 C1. And that's a disqualification for cause. And then there's certain reasons that you can get rid of the
170 point
judge.
C.
Now, going into that, one of the first things you want to look at is look at the judge's last election. And you're going to look to see who gave to his campaign if he actually ran.
Did you hear that?
If a party gave to the campaign.
Listen. You want to get rid of a
if
judge?
the attorney for the other side gave to the campaign.
So you have to look.
If he
So I'm just going to tell you what he's saying. You have to look at the judge's donations, and it's public knowledge. You got to stop, dude. You got to stop with that.
is look at the judge's last election. And you're going to look to see who gave to his campaign if he actually ran. If a party gave to the campaign, if the attorney for the other side gave to the campaign.
Gave to the campaign.
If you found that either of these two things happened.
Right.
And the donation was greater than $100, the judge had to disclose to you that donation under CCP section 170.1A9. If he didn't disclose, that may or may not necessarily be reasons to get rid of him, but going on, if the donation was $1,500 or more, the judge is automatically recused. He's out. If it's less than $1,500, the judge is out if an objective person felt that he could be biased.
Yes, you're biased with more than...
So either way, under that campaign donation, you can get that judge knocked out. The other way is that if you find some other reason, and there's a category list of reasons, he can be knocked out if an objective person thinks that the judge could be biased. So there's a second way of getting him out.
Here's another way to get rid of a judge. Lots of takeaways. Lots of takeaways.
It just means you file your disqualification. He either has to strike it if it doesn't have grounds, or he has to answer, and then between the two of you to decide on a third judge to decide that. And if you don't decide, the head of the Judicial Council appoints a judge, and that judge decides it. If the judge doesn't answer within 10 days, it's considered that he's consented to the recusal, and he's gone.
So once you file that, you hear that?
You're now
Once
to answer.
You file
is used.
So let's just use Judge Waldo, right? I file to have him dismissed. It has to be in writing, though. I'm learning all this stuff, right? I file, he has to be dismissed in writing. And then he has 10 days to either recuse himself or he's dismissed. He has to answer within 10 days or be dismissed, which is what I should have done in Ohio, but I'm learning as I go here. Sorry, guys, I don't know everything.
Means you file your disqualification. He either has to strike it if it doesn't have grounds.
You have to file
or
it.
He has to answer, and then between the two of you to decide on a third judge to decide that.
A third
And if you
judge.
don't decide, the head of the judicial council appoints a judge, and that judge decides it. If the judge doesn't answer within 10 days, it's considered that he's consented to the recusal, and he's gone.
Right. You hear that?
You're
That's
now
it.
using the system to be able to get rid of that judge. Now, the next judge you get may not be any better, but at least you got rid of the one bad one.
Right.
And if the next one doesn't look any good, you use the same system on the next one. So that's one of the ways that you're looking at it.
So just a little fun fact here. Richard Fine was disbarred by the California State Bar when a judge got him disbarred. He was disbarred. He can't practice law in the state of California anymore because he took down too many judges.
Using that way, you can now investigate, go out there, get on the internet, everything, and find out everything about this judge. The judge has to file a Form 170, which says all of his assets, his income, and everything else. So if you find that this judge has some relationship
Good point, Minnie.
to that party through investments or anything else, these are ways to get rid of that judge.
He has to file a
But what if
170.
they put all their assets in a trust?
Yeah.
Then they don't have to report what's in the trust.
Well, they have to report the trust, and then they may have to report what's in the trust because it's a trust. If it's a revocable or irrevocable trust, it's still an asset of theirs.
So the question is on
Through
Waldo.
investments or anything else, these
On-
are ways.
on Waldo-
So if you find that this and find out everything about this judge.
Did Waldo
Now,
file a
on
170?
the next one?
Did
so-
Waldo?
That's one of the ways that you're looking at it. Using that way, you can now investigate, go out there, get on the internet, everything, and find out everything about this judge.
Campaign
The judge has
contributions?
to file a Form 170.
Form
Which
170.
says all of his assets, his income, and everything else. So if you find that this judge has some relationship
So then I imagine
to
that
that party,
that you just file a FOIA with the Ohio State Supreme Court to get the 170 on Waldo. Does anybody know how to do it? I've never done it. I'm just learning. He's saying you can file a 170 on any judge, and the judge has to list all of his disclosings, right? So how do you file the 170? That's what I want to know. Do I file the 170 as a FOIA to find out it's called a Form 170. If anybody can find that out, I don't know how to do it. I'm just learning. So I need one more like to 100. Somebody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. And we're only one like away from 100, which we used to get like thousands. It's fine. No big deal.
through investments or anything else, these are ways to get rid of that judge.
But what if they put all their assets in a trust?
Yeah.
Then they don't have to report what's in the trust.
Well, they have to report the trust, and then they may have to report what's in the trust because it's a trust. If it's a revocable or irrevocable trust, it's still an asset of theirs. So you dig deep. And if they're not reporting, you'll get them for not reporting. So, see, you have to be proactive here.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
what has happened,
you can investigate a trust. Just because someone says it's a trust doesn't mean you can't find out what's in it.
with the lack of integrity taking place, it's up to us to be proactive. So you just can't sit there and say, woe is to me, I'm a victim anymore. You got to get in there and start doing what is necessary, because there are things in the law that let you do this, and there are situations where the judges have to act. I'm going to give you an example here. There's a case that is presently sitting out there where an individual joined a fraternity.
Listen to this story.
And as a pledge,
Listen to this.
he claims to have been sexually assaulted. And then in another pledge meeting, a pledge master attacked him from behind, stomped on him, and he's now permanently crippled.
Wow.
And he sues the fraternity. The presiding judge of the court in which this case is taking place is a life member of the fraternity.
Oh my God.
The judge who is hearing the case is running for re-election. The presiding judge, this life member, gives the largest contribution to this judge's campaign.
So the fraternity...
This judge dismisses the case.
Yeah, the fraternity been paying the judge.
This is what happens. It goes up into appeal, and the dismissal gets overturned. Case is now back down into the same court.
With the same judge.
And this presiding judge is still trying to control things.
Oh.
These are the types of things that take place. This is what you have to be looking out for. Or, I'll give another example. In a divorce case, they hire a private judge.
The private
judge has to give a disclosure under law. He doesn't sign the disclosure, but he says that the lawyer for the husband was before him in 10 cases, but doesn't disclose the cases. The wife's lawyer sees this, doesn't tell the wife about it. Turns out that they end up into a bad settlement where there was various types of fraud and so forth. The end result, the wife gets screwed over. She then finds out about this. They get rid of the private judge, but now the case is sitting back down in front of another judge, and she finds out that the private judge didn't disclose things from the very beginning, and now she's sitting with new judges, and now she's having problems with the new judge. So she now has to look to see what's happening there. Hundreds of millions of dollars are at stake. This is what takes place. So these are the things that you have to be looking at in your case, irrespective of how big, how small, whether it's a probate case or not. I mean, give you a third example of a house belonging to a grandmother and her daughter. The daughter dies.
Okay, every time a house goes into probate, the county has an interest in the sale of the house. So just remember what I just said. Every time a house is entered into probate, the county gets a large percentage of taxes. So the county is incentivized to make sure that house gets sold.
Give you a third example of a house belonging to a grandmother and her daughter. The daughter dies. The house comes down into an estate. There's no money in the estate because the only thing that's there is the house. And the daughter becomes the administrator of the estate, does nothing. And now they're trying to get the person who actually owns 80% of the house out.
Right, because the bank owns 20%.
80 continuances. Case has been going on for 9 years. House can't be worth more than $500,000. Lawyers get involved in all these wrong things. This is your court system. This is what we're dealing with. Now, this is not counting all of the illegal foreclosures that took place under the housing bust.
Wow. Just
where
wow.
The banks came in and got all these people out of their homes illegally.
So let me show you guys the name of this channel because there's another 30 minutes here and he continues to drop gold. I mean, this man continues just to drop gold. This is the name of the channel. Obviously, I already liked and subscribed. The name of the video is Richard Find and How to Fight Corrupt Judges. I liked it. I subscribed to William Wigner. And I've left a few comments with timestamps down there. I'd like all of you guys to go over. Let's get him another 50 likes. He's only at 700. See, like, this is where we should be all the time. And it'll change in the next few weeks. So, but go over here, guys, to this guy's channel, William Wagner, W-A-G-N-E-R, William Wagner, or is it Wagner? Sorry about that. And then go to Richard Fine right here and listen to him, and he talks for another 30 minutes, another 22 minutes or something like that. 20 minutes, another 20 minutes. And it is super good. It is super good. And so that's where we are. So yeah, that's just where we are. And look, you know, I showed a video last night with Grant Cardone. And if you guys haven't seen the video that I showed with Grant Cardone, I got all kinds of emails today that Grant is a fraud and he's being investigated and all these things. But, you know, I just liked the message that he gave yesterday. And so the message was, we need to stay focused on our goals here. And so I was going to list off our goals tonight, but instead I just wanted to show you guys Richard Fine. And then every single day, we're going to go over exactly the courts and the things that have to change that we can change. Now, here's the crazy thing. I'm doing other things that I can't mention yet. I won't be able to mention it for 3 or 4 months, but half of my day is dedicated to doing something else to really grow our numbers here on YouTube. But, you know, I don't want to address anything other than the change that we have to do. You know, I'm a human being. I'm going to communicate with people outside of social media platforms. But I would like for this page here to be about the changes that we're going to fight for to implement. And just stay focused on that. You know, remember, there's so many people who have motivations to promote themselves and what they're doing, and that's fine. God bless them. Let them go and let them do it, right? But we need to stay focused on the things that need to change. We have to stay focused on the things that must change. And that's what we have to stay focused on as much as we possibly can. You know what I mean? You just got to get there. You 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 know, we have to stay focused on the things that we can change and not worry about the things that we can't change. There's going to be things that we cannot change. Now, I'm going to take on some things on the side. You guys will hear about it peripherally, but I don't want to talk about it here. If you want to talk about it on our backup channel, then we can talk about it on the backup channel. Jeff hates pigs. Jeff hates pigs. Jeff hates piggies. Jeff hates piggies. Jeff hates pigs. Jeff hates pigs. Sorry. I don't want Joe Cool's in the house. Good to see you, Joe Cool. Chuck the Tribe. How is everybody? Natural Order. Good to see you. Troll Harasser. Hey, man, you're a new person on the channel. Thank you, Linkster. I do appreciate you having my back, man. Let's just leave everything off this page. Let's not bring up people's names. People are going to make... You guys, listen. If you haven't noticed, I'm an extraordinarily dynamic person. People are going to make videos about me. I've already said I'm going into power. I'm going for the power mantle, meaning people are going to want to attach to that. I am abrasive, like a cleaner, like Ajax or Comment. People are going to be affected by the change agent that I am, and they're going to talk about me. Let's just stay focused on what we got to focus on. Let's stay focused on the things that we need to change. The things that we need to change. We don't get cameras in the courtrooms. It's just going to get worse. Someone mentioned Susan Bassey earlier. And I already talked to Susan Bassey on the phone. I already had a conversation with Susan Bassey. So Susan Bassey is the one that told me that Richard Fine has been disbarred from the California State Bar. That the same judge that's persecuting Susan Bassey is the one... News Now Omaha, what's going on, brother? What's going on, my friend? Susan Bassey is the one that told me Richard Fine was disbarred from the California State Bar. I didn't get all the backlog on what happened to him, but she said that the judge that is persecuting and prosecuting and ruining her life is the same judge that got Richard Fine disbarred. So what's going on? Got a couple influencers, a couple guys in here. Joe Cool and News Now Omaha. Both those guys have their own channels, and some of their stuff is really, really good. Some of their stuff is really good. So if you guys all want to jump in and check that out. you know, so that includes and is not limited to, you know, I don't, you know, for the moderators and stuff like that, you know, let's keep our chat about what we're talking about, you know, and people who go off topic, I'm just going to send them packing. Because remember, there's going to be people that how many people can create a new YouTube account in a second? So if people are not going to learn that we are agents of change, then we'll just send them packing and we'll do something different. F hates pigs. Gloria, good to see you. Yum, how are you? Yum, how are you? Chevy, good to see you. How is everybody doing? Send them packing. I want to just make sure that we keep this just keep our channel about what we talk about, you know, keep our channel just exactly what we're talking about and what we're doing. And I'm telling you, listen, at the end of the day, remember, you know, you guys saw that video that I made yesterday, you know, it's like, you know, we saw what Grant Cardone said yesterday, focus on your message. And so that's all that we're going to do. That's all I'm going to do. And if anybody doesn't want to do that here, they can go do something else. God bless you. There's like 50 million YouTube channels. Go there, baby. Go there. You know, go there, go to there. And then you'll have more fun. Jersey, what's going on? How are you? Listen, I've got more stuff to do. You would not believe it. You know, I literally am scheduling time right now to make sure that I can get in here to spend some time with you guys to keep things going, because at the end of the day, listen, and by the way, a big shout out to the people who are on this team, on the DeletelawZ team. Big shout out to my buddy M. Big shout out to F. Big shout out to the people who are there to see. There are people right now who are behind the scenes who are helping me and helping this channel so much. It is incredible. D, my buddy D, you know, D is going so far out of their way to help me do this next thing. It's going to cost this person tons of money to help me do this next thing. So I'm super grateful, brother. Thank you for taking a chance with me to really get this next part of the project completed. And I'm telling you guys, listen, I know that you guys aren't going to see anything for like 3 or 4 months, but then in January of 2023, at the end of January, I'm just going to tell you now, January 31st, 2023, I will announce and I will show people what we have done to quadruple or make the numbers here 10 times as large. 10 times as large. If we don't have success with what I'm doing right now, then everything that I think I know is wrong. So we're going to find out. But, you know, there's people right now who are helping me and helping you and helping us so we can get to the next level. I mean, you know, I got a buddy doing some work right now in Cali because we have to move our entire legal processes to California because of the long arm statute there. You know, it's like I have to go to California, which is where I'm on my way to now. I'm on my way to California. And everybody can know because it doesn't really matter. I told you guys, when I say to you guys, I will never quit on something. You can take it to the bank. I won't ever quit. Listen, and just so you guys know, you know, it takes a lot for me to even, it is what it is. I'm just telling you guys, we are January 31st, 2023. I will make the announcement January 31st, 2023. I don't know if I can do the big reveal then or not, because this is a way to money up. What I'm doing right now is a way to money up. So this next social media that I'm doing could raise tens of thousands of dollars a month, or I wouldn't do it. And my buddy who's putting so much effort into this, dude, you're probably watching right now. Thank you, brother. I know we thank you, bro. I just don't want to reveal anybody or anything because I'm going to be so busy for the next little while. I can't even begin to tell you guys how busy I'm going to be. You know, it's going to be pretty intense. It's going to be pretty intense the next few things I'm doing. The board. Oh, so then, you know, someone emailed me as well. Listen, I'll be honest with you. Everything that I'm doing for the next quarter or 2 quarters is right on task. I swear to God. Now, what my buddy is doing in California with the legal processes and stuff, man, I'm going to stay focused. So it's going to money us up. And then with the money that I money up from, I will build the transparency technology. And I'm going to start that in like February, March in Los Angeles. So I'm only because especially the initial technology, I want to make sure that I want to put our money into it, where we have the foundation of the technology that we designed so that we can control things. Because if you can't, thanks, Dan. I appreciate the super chat. Thanks for the super chat, guys. I didn't see them. I saw News Now Omaha. I see Dan. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. We have to get serious about taking on this system. You guys just heard it. What's going on, Special Ed Andrew? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. You guys just saw that lawyer sit and break out how corrupt and disgusting our court are. So we have to change it. Thank you, Chevy. I appreciate the super chat. God bless you. We have to change the court system. We have to change so from now on, everybody who follows this channel, never use the term cop, police, or law enforcement. It's always a peace officer. Even when you see them beating and killing people, we shouldn't have our peace officers doing that to people. Okay? So we have to fight back against this corrupt system. This corrupt system. You know? Who knows, Top Shelf? Who knows, dude? Who knows? Maybe someone knows you're a troll for sure. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe you're not. I don't know, dude. But what I want to do is stay as focused as we can. Because listen, I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, but my whole life is dedicated to changing this. My entire being, everything that I am, is based on changing this. Thanks, Chuck. I appreciate the super chat, brother. It's everything that I'm about. I was born to do this. And that's what keeps me going, is that I know that when God made me, he said, Chille, this is what you need to do. And he put it in me. And so now that I have that magical power inside of me, you know, it's, dude, can you just stay focused pretty please, brother? Let's just, you know, this is what I'm going to do with my life, and I'm not going to stop under any circumstances. So, you know, it's just a matter of making sure that we get the right things accomplished. And so over the next few 3 to 6 months, I'm gonna get these things done, and then I'm going to work on that California State Bar. You know, and my buddy in Cali was telling me, he said to me, he said, Chille, you know, I know you want to take the California State Bar, but do you really need to? And maybe, I don't know. I want to just pass that bar. That's I think it's an ego thing. You know, these people who are such dunce caps, and they think that they're smart, and I just don't like it. You know, oh, I passed the bar. Who cares? It's not like you're, you know, it's, you know. Okay, cool. That sounds great, man. That sounds great. You know what I mean? But, you know, I always want to check in. I'm always going to check in for an hour every day or every other day, so that you guys know that I'm all right. I am okay. You know, these people, you know, what we have to do, our people, we have to make sure that we stay. Thanks, Natural Order. I appreciate the super chat. God bless you, man. Thank you. We have to make sure that we stay focused no matter what these people or those people do. And, you know, I listened to that video last night. Did you guys see the video I made with Grant Cardone where he was just giving advice about being an influencer? You know, look, I'm not saying to invest your money with Grant. I'm not saying that you should you should go and buy his product. I'm not saying that. I'm saying his information about okay, Top Shelf Anarchy. Don't time out Top Shelf Anarchy. Give him a chance to see if he's a regular person. Okay, Top Shelf. Let's see, dude. You're more than welcome. Just remember, dude. My friends here, the people who are my friends here, they really don't accept a lot of crap. We just don't, because we got to be just so tough as we go forward to push and change these things. Good to see everybody. Linkster, it's always good to see you guys. Thank you guys for the support. But we have to just stay focused. And so I don't think you guys understand how far I've gone to put myself out to do what I'm doing next, but I'm way out of my comfort zone. I mean, I'm not even in Los Angeles yet. I'm way out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to be out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to put myself in a very vicarious position because it has to be displayed. I have to show you guys what I want to show you. That's it. Rocco, good to see you. Brian, good to see you. The tribe, thank you, dude. Oh, is that right? Okay, Top Shelf. The tribe is saying, someone said you got accidentally timed out, Top Shelf. Listen, listen, I'm a salty dog. I'm a salty dog. Listen, and the other thing is this. What we're doing here, we don't need to talk about, anybody else or any other things or what they're doing. We only need to talk about what we're doing. We need to just stay focused on what we're doing. We just have to stay as focused as we can on what we're doing. The bar would require 2 years of study, either under a lawyer or in a school. So yeah, I have a lot to learn, obviously. You know what I mean? Oh, really, Honest Abe? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, brother. Honest Abe, I've seen your name in here 100 times, so I know you're telling the truth. I've seen you for a long time. Back to the mission. And listen, you guys, I got a few days of things I've got to do. I'm on my way to LA. I'll be in Los Angeles in the next week. And I've got a few things I got to do there legally. And then I'm going to come right back, to what I'm doing. And that's what I'm going to do. So I just wanted to talk for a little while. I've been on here for an hour. I got to get the flock out of here. Is it 420 yet? Is it 420? Because I have not 420'd all day. I have not 420'd even once today. And I am more than willing to 420 right this second. But I got to drive. I got to go meet my buddy D. And, oh, is that right? Heat wave in California. Looking good. Looking good. Nurkin, did you turn the corner? What's going on, Nurkin? Good to see you, man. The $2 super chat was royalties for the card game. Oh, really? Truth Bomb? That's cool, man. That's cool. What's going on, Playboy? Yeah, I go to Phoenix all the time, Top Shelf. Let me know, man. Let me know. Shoot me an email, DeletelawZ@gmail.com. It's always good to see you guys, man. I'll be honest with you. The best part of my day is talking with my friends. I love some of you. I have made real friends with you. It's crazy. Because I'm on the road, I'm not hanging out with my regular crew in LA. I'm not hanging out with my regular crew in Texas or Florida or wherever I go to, And so a lot of you guys have become like my full-blown actual buddies and friends and like the support and love that I need. And I'm just so grateful. Some of you guys have just, I appreciate you and thank you. And you guys know who you are. I'm not going to list your names so people create fake profiles about you and stuff, but you know who you are. I talk to you guys, you know who you are, and I'm not going to get all, I've made friends with people from the internet who are now some of my closest friends in the world. And it's just such a strange thing because I'm a real in-person guy and I have a ton of energy and, just that Chevy and V Boyer and Marcy and all you guys who have been here, Marcy, your hair is so awesome. Marcy, you got to put a picture up of your hair. Give me permission. I'll show that picture of your hair. Marcy has the best haircut ever. She has the best hair color ever. Dan, I met in Ohio. Dan's a great guy. Gloria is a good friend of mine. I mean, I rely on talking to Gloria all the time because she helps me feel normal, like I'm a normal person. You know, it's like V, you know, Jeff hates pigs, you know, just seeing you, Les Paul, seeing you guys all the time, it helps me so much. It helps me so much, and I super appreciate all of you guys. Eric over there, you know, the tribe, Troll Hunter, you know, JMM, Jonathan Mitchell Music, you know, it's like Rights On. There's Chevy. There's so many of you guys who become my real friends. And let me just tell you something. I took that video I watched last night very seriously. If you guys have not seen the video I did with Grant Cardone and you see me remove one of your comments, it's because you're going off topic. And I really heard for the first time last night when I listened to that guy's video, just focus on your mission. Just focus on your mission. You know, just focus on your mission. You know, just do that. And everything else will work out. Listen, I do have legal battles going on right now that are going to escalate. And I've got 4 in the next month that are going to escalate. So I'm just not going to talk about them on this channel. I'll do a backup channel. We'll talk about them there, but I'm not going to talk about them here. It looks like I have like a hair braid right here from my dog's leash. Do you see that? Looks like I have like one of those guys who's got like the long braided ponytail thing. It did look like that for a second, didn't it? It looked like I had a ponytail thing here. You see that? There, that. You remember those guys who would have the long hair? Yeah, I should have Paul Unslaved on. I really should. Looks like I got a thing in the back of my hair. Devil dogs! Devil dogs! It's up in the house. Bruce and Hizzy. Tabitha, good to see you guys. Aza, good to see you, man. Good to see everybody. It's. Listen, we don't stop. We don't stop. We're not going to stop. And just so you guys know, you know, this next few things, we're going to take some wins. We're going to take some wins over the next few things. You know what I mean? I am overdue on a fresh bowl of marijuana, and I can't travel with any marijuana in my car. You might have said something kind of funny, and it might have been an accident too. Maybe don't take it personally. If you knew what I was going through, you wouldn't take it so personal. If you knew what I was actually dealing with, oh, top shelf, revealing yourself, my friend. Revealing yourself, top shelf. Take care, brother. You can watch from a different username, but I'm not interested in you spreading your garbage. So, all right, I'm going to get the flock out of here, you guys. Listen, we don't stop. 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 It's that simple. Listen, I got to go. I'm going to go check it out, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. God bless you. God bless your family. I hope you guys are doing great, and thank you so much for your support. I super appreciate it. I'll see you guys soon. Okay, talk to you soon. Later.